Hey guys, welcome to season 2 here at Mile Point 3 Garage. We got Matt's Bronco in the garage safe. You saw that in the last video. This week we have had a rash of, I would say, unfortunate issues with our daily drivers that I had to take care of. None of those were sexy repairs, so I didn't video any of that. We're going to get straight to season 2 and kind of what we're going to be doing this season in at Mile Point 3. So first, we have to try to get the Bronco that we hauled through, I don't know, 5 states in a snowstorm with road salt and stuff. Obviously, you can see lots of rust here. I'm pretty sure, although I didn't take any pictures of the Bronco right before I picked it up, I have videos from Matt to be able to tell, but I think this was a pretty pristine body from a rust standpoint until I got a hold of it and then drug it through all kinds of heck coming back. So the first step would be to take the rust off. That's kind of what I'm doing here, is I'm taking the rust off the body. It's not really something sexy to do. I already have a video when we took the rust off of the Bronco number 1 over there. You know, we're going to have to name these Broncos so we don't say Bronco number 1 and Bronco number 2, but we'll get to that here shortly. All I'm doing is taking some phosphoric acid, which I've put in this handy dandy little sprayer here. And it's actually Prep and Etch from Home Depot. And then acetone, some rags, some Scotch-Brite, and some painter's tape. The only reason why I had painter's tape is to do a little marking here so you can kind of see the difference. And then I also have a small brass brush here to get the corners. But all I'm doing is I'm spraying this down with some Prep and Etch, letting it sit for about 5 minutes, scrubbing it with both the Scotch-Brite and the brass pad, letting it sit for about another 5 minutes, hosing it off with some acetone, wiping it down, and you can see the difference right here. This is the same part of the cowl here, right above the transmission hump. Put a piece of painter's tape down there, 10 minutes with Prep and Etch, coming straight back from Matt's garage. So pretty amazing difference there. So obviously we don't have any big rust issues. I'm going to take the acetone, I'm going to hose out all the joints that are in here to make sure that we don't have salt embedded into those joints, so we can get that all cleaned out. So my goal is to hose those down with acetone, take get my small little compressor up as high as it'll go, and then I bought a little nozzle for it for shooting compressed air. Has a really small tip on it, and I'm going to get it down in there, and I'm going to blow all that acetone out the bottom and use that kind of as a wash to get the body clean. So this whole process is going to take me probably 2 days to get everything done. I'm going to clean the roof as well, but I'm not really too worried about that. It seems to be pretty well coated with paint, so I'm going to primarily just stick with the body here. So coming up on season 2, we obviously have the Broncos. So the Broncos are the elephant in the room. We have 2 of them. We have Matt's Bronco, and then we have Bronco number 1. We're going to be doing a segment here coming up pretty soon about kind of what our plans are for those so we can start ordering parts, and we're going to need your input. We're going to not try to get both of them done at the exact same time, but we are going to work on both of them at the same time. If we do a power steering setup in this Bronco, we're going to do the same thing, maybe not the exact same thing, but we're going to work on the power steering in that one as well. They are going to be different. They're going to be completely different. I'm not going to be buying a ton of parts for Bronco number 1. We're going to keep as much as we can that came off of that Bronco in that Bronco. Bronco number 2, which is Matt's Bronco, I don't know. We're still up in the air on that. There's a bunch of parts that Matt gave us with this Bronco that are really good, Hydro Boost and things like that, so we're going to use those on this Bronco. The 5.0 roller is really good for this Bronco as well. I think it had 180,000 miles on it. We're going to inspect that and rebuild that motor, rebuild the transmission that came with it as well, and the Dana 20 to get that done. So we'll be doing all of that as well. But coming up, the first part is going to be trying to figure out what we're going to do with them. Then we also have the Wagoneer. Now the Wagoneer is probably not going to get restored before the Broncos will, but I'm not going to take it apart either. So I'm going to take some advice from Nashville Early Bronco on that and say that we're going to get it running and driving so we can use it as a driver. And then we're going to fix one thing at a time. So it starts with the transfer case, which I'm in the middle of rebuilding. I promised you guys a video on that, and I have not posted it yet because I haven't finished it, but that may be coming pretty soon. But as soon as that's in there, my assumption is it's going to run. We've already rebuilt the carburetor, which I'll try to put a video up on that. So it should be okay after that. We're going to have to replace the carpet in it, put a new headliner in it, and fix the windows because the windows don't roll up or down. So those are basic things that we'll have to repair to be able to drive it every day, and that's what I plan on doing, is driving it every day. We also have the Jeep JK, and we have the Ford F-150. The Jeep JK is going to my daughter. We're going to be doing some repairs on that that are pretty universal to Jeeps, and so I'm going to post those videos. But then she also is totally excited. She's getting it for her first car. In Colorado, you can't drive until a year after you basically start driving on your permit. She didn't start driving until she was 15 and a half, so she doesn't start driving for real without her parents until 16 and a half, so she still has about 6 months until she can drive. We're going to take her to a local wrap shop here and let her design a run wrap for the Jeep so that she can wrap the Jeep. She's totally excited about that. She's very outdoor oriented. She's a hiker, skier, she had kayaks, she's an angler. I think that's going to have a lot of influence on the wrap that she finally puts on there. So I think that's going to be super exciting. I'm really looking forward to that. That Ford F-150 I probably won't do anything to. Just did a tune-up on it to fix the shutter that not only do Fords have, but a lot of other cars when they start getting a little older and have some miles on them. So I'll be doing a universal video on that. But at some point I'm going to Raptorize that truck. It's too good a truck to sell. I kind of want to get a newer one, but it's just too good a truck to sell. So I'm going to do a very light Raptor build on a 2004 Ford F-150 and just see what happens with it. So that won't be this season, but it'll be coming up soon. And then lastly and sadly, the S4 is going to have to go. It has it's pretty perfect. I did a little bit of body, you'd say body work. It's kind of like, you know, light compounding of the paint because the paint now is like 16 years old, 17 years old, and I don't think it had ever been compounded before. So I'll show you the haze that was in that paint, how I got it out. It's super simple. It took just a few hours. I did it with all brand new tools from Harbor Freight, and it only took me a few hours. I also did a kind of a light recoat of the clear coat on the bumper. I'll show you that video. So there's a lot coming up in this season. Predominantly, we're going to have to be doing something with this garage because all these cars are going to have to come in and out of here. So coming up here in the next day or so, I'm going to ask you your thoughts, but I'm going to be putting new lighting in this because right now, 3-car garage, I have 2 Curly Q fluorescent compact bulbs in the entire garage. Plus, I've also got some double fluorescents on the wall over there, which are pointing at me right now. And those have got to go as well. The lighting in this garage is horrible. I can't do anything if it's not completely daylight outside. So any tips or comments you have on lighting, comment below if you have any ideas on the lights. I've been looking at the Barina stuff, the Barina wannabes as well, which are a little bit less expensive. Been looking at the twin tube fluorescents. I've been looking at the little 3-way LEDs that screw right into the bulb. Those are like 6,000 lumen lights, but they're pretty centralized. I need the light to be everywhere in the garage. We're also going to clean up the walls and take, you know, all the rakes and fencing and you know, everything that we normally collect on walls in a garage. I'm going to take all that off and I'm going to paint the walls. I'm going to put corrugated metal kind of wainscoting around it, and I'm going to turn it into a garage that I can hang out in. I'm going to put my old plasma TV, which I'm going to replace here so the family has a little bit nicer TV. I'm going to take that 55-inch plasma and I'm going to stick it on the wall in here, make it an entertainment center so I can keep myself entertained while I'm working on cars when my wife and my children aren't out here. So there's going to be a lot of fun things happening. I might even throw some neon up here. I've been trying to look for a neon Bronco light, can't find one, but I'm pretty sure somewhere along the way I'll either find one or make one, get it in here, because I think it needs it. So stick around for this season, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I do work full-time, love my job, so I'll only be working usually in the evenings and on my days off. But we're going to put the metal to this and try to get some things done. I appreciate you joining in. Subscribe, throw any comments you have down there on the garage build, what I might be able to do to fix this place up. And then also coming up soon, I'm going to be asking you about the Broncos and getting some feedback on that. That's a wrap from Mile Point 3 Garage.